welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm back once again for the Renegade Master as we talk about the top 10 Curse songs part 3. Yeah, 3. You guys are seemingly loving those Curse melodies, and I don't blame you because music is great. Music that can get you dead is risky, but maybe sometimes it's a risk worth taking. Before we jump into this video, do let me know what song or album best sums up your life. I'd have to go with Wild Beast's Two Dancers for mine. Make sure you do leave me a comment and also click on that thumbs up button. Also, if you guys want to connect with me on social media, my link is in the description box down below. Alright, let's crank this up to 11 and get going, shall we? First off, we have a very famous one to start the list. We have Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. There is a lady who's sure that all that glitters is gold. Played forward, Led Zeppelin's 1971 hit Stairway to Heaven is a beautiful melodic rock classic, filled with divine references. Played backwards, and some people think that they can hear death and the devil and all of the bad things. It all started in 1981. Now, people had been happily listening to the track for 10 years without worrying about the effect it may have on their souls. This was when Michael Mills, a Michigan minister, appeared on a Christian radio. He denounced the track as Satanist propaganda. He said that when played backwards, phrases like "Master Satan, hear me, there is no escaping it" were hidden in the music. Allegedly, the song says, "Here's to my sweet Satan, the one whose little path would make me sad, whose power is Satan, he will give those with him 666. There was a little tool shed where he made us suffer, sad Satan." I don't know, to me, this makes literally no sense. If the song was designed to brainwash people and lead them on a slippery slide to hell rather than a stairway to heaven as advertised, wouldn't they want to make their message a little less ambiguous? There is a dark urban legend surrounding this song. We have Love Rollercoaster by the Ohio Players. That's coming into number 9. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, and I wanna ride. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I love this song. It's too bad it's cursed, really, or something. Between 2 minutes and 32 seconds and 36 seconds, a high-pitched scream can be heard. Some people say it's the sound of a rabbit being hit by a car outside the studio, although given studio soundproofing that seems extremely unlikely. Other people straight up say it's the sound of someone being murdered. Some people say that the murder victim was Esther Cordet, the nude on the Honey album cover. People said that she was badly burned with the hot honey used for the photo shoot, and the band's manager stabbed her to death in the control room to stop her suing them. Again, that sounds pretty far-fetched and also totally ludicrous because she's still alive. Whatever the situation is with the screaming, it's pretty freaky and sounds very haunting. This next song was subject to a civil lawsuit. Coming into number 8, we have Better by You, Better Than Me by Judas Priest. So Better by You, Better Than Me was originally by a rock band called Spooky Tooth, but it was covered by Judas Priest in 1978, and the latter English metal band version was pretty popular in its day. While some loved the power rock track, others were convinced it was cursed and led to a spate of suicides. I gave this one a listen, and to be honest, it makes me want to punch the air and thrash my hair like I just don't care rather than kill myself. Maybe I'm impervious to the curse though. Actually, I totally regret saying that now because it seems like something someone would say in a movie, like, "I'm impervious to the curse," and then boom, dead. Anyway, back to the song. The track was reportedly behind the suicide attempts of 19-year-old Ray Belknap and 20-year-old James Vance in Reno, Nevada. Now, this all went down in 1985 when Ray shot himself under his chin and died instantly. James survived but was severely disfigured and overdosed 3 years later. His parents claimed that the curse track made the young men do it. Now, the 3-week trial was heavily scrutinized by the music industry and eventually it was thrown out of court. Coming into number 7, we have Exit by U2. Does anyone else feel kind of sorry for Bono? Like, I do. Exit is by far one of the most disturbing U2 songs, and it makes sense because at the time Bono was channeling the mind of a murderer when he wrote it. He admitted to reading Norman Mailer's The Executioner's Song and Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. In the book U2 by U2, Bono said, "Exit was my attempt at writing a story in the mind of a killer. It is all very well to address America and the violence that is an aggressive foreign policy, but you really have to understand that you have to get under the skin of your own darkness, the violence that we all contain within us. Well, it seems he channeled that darkness all too well and somehow poisoned the song with it. Other people felt the evil and the music lived inside them. Famously, murderer Robert Bardo claimed that Exit was the inspiration behind his stalking and killing of 21-year-old American actress and model Rebecca Schaffer. The 1987 track was a favourite for Brando, and he would use it as motivation when he stalked the young woman for 3 years. Chillingly, he then murdered her in 1989, and when the song was played in the courtroom as evidence, he mouthed along with the lyrics, taking particular delight in the pistol weighing heavy bit. Okay, this is an entire Cursed album, and maybe beyond that, this could be an entire Cursed band. At number 6, we have Bone Thugs and their album The Crossroads. I came across an article called Did the Ouija Board Curse Bone Thugs? And the answer is, maybe. Bone Thugs were a group of 4 Grammy Award-winning rappers in the 90s. When they were in their teens, they would play with an Ouija board to try and drum up some of the dark energy they wanted to portray in their sound. They released an album called Crossroads, which really showcased their darkness. A lot of people think that they can hear demonic voices peppered amongst the tracks. Scarier still, a shockingly high number of rappers who worked with Bone Thugs wound up dead. For example, Tupac, Notorious B.I.G., Eazy-E, and The Big Pun. Now, they all made music with the group, and they all died. Not only that, they died between 1994 and 1997, which were the darker days for the band's sound. In 98, the band took an unexpected new direction in terms of their sound, and seemingly the curse was lifted. Perhaps they bought back their souls from the devil, or maybe they make ritual sacrifices each year. Whatever works, I guess. Coming into number 5, we have the sad story of Jelly Roll Morton. Jelly Roll Morton is one of the most famous jazz musicians of all time, but like many musical legends, his time on Earth was surprisingly short. He died aged 50. Jelly didn't always enjoy a successful music career, and sometimes he was prone to bad luck. Why? Well, Jelly suffered from bad juju. Juju, for those that don't know, is a West African belief in magic, and bad juju is the kind of bad energy a person gets from dabbling in dark magic. Jelly believed his godmother, a Creole woman, sacrificed Jelly's soul to Satan in a black magic ritual when he was a baby. His belief that he was cursed was heightened when he found coloured powder sprinkled around his office door. Down on his luck, he decided to quit music. Now eventually, after a worse turn of fortunes, Jelly visited a voodoo woman who told him to burn all of his clothes so he could regain some success. He did this, and he did. Unfortunately, that was all until his godmother died, the woman who cursed him in the first place. He seemed to have always known that his fate was tied up with hers, and he died very shortly after she did. We've talked about cursed songs, cursed bands, but what about cursed musical instruments? Behold number 4, we have Sir Francis Drake's drum. Many people know Sir Francis Drake as a seafarer, a naval captain, an explorer, and even a slave trader. Not many people know that his preferred seamate was a drum, dubbed Drake's drum. Drake's drum is a snare drum that accompanied the voyager on his journeys from 1577 until his death in 1596. As he lay dying off the coast of Panama, he ordered his drum be sent back to Buckland Abbey. He laid a curse upon the drum, vowing that if England was ever in danger, the drum should be beaten and he would emerge from heaven to defend the country. Now, the drum has now become part of English folklore and superstition. On several occasions throughout history since Drake's death, people have reported hearing the drum beat. Many claim it was heard when Lord Nelson was freed, and again when World War I broke out, and then again when the Imperial German Navy was defeated. The last time the drum was heard was during the successful Dunkirk evacuation. Coming into number 3, we have the band Psy and the Curse of Izanagi. Psy are a Japanese extreme metal band from Tokyo, formed in 1989 and still rocking to this day. The band released a successful album called Scenes from Hell, and they recorded one of their tracks in Japanese. The Curse of Izanagi is a track all about a voodoo curse that condemns its victims' souls to hell. It includes the lyrics, "An infernal spell cast upon you, trapped for eternity. It's your destiny. Your fate lies in the cruelty of my eyes." Weirdly, as soon as the band started working on the Japanese version of the track, the owner of their music label suddenly and unexpectedly commits suicide. The band lead singer Mirai Karashima said that it was the second time that someone involved with the song had died, so unfortunately they'd actually banned the song. They shelved it ever since. He said it was simply just too sinister. Coming into number 2, beware El Silbon, the Whistler. In Colombia and Venezuela there is a legend of El Silbon, a lost soul who whistles. According to the legend, the whistling spirit is a young boy who killed his father after he was abusing his mother. popular. Afterwards, the boy was tied to a post and lashed. He was then set upon by starving and rabid dogs and condemned to carry his father's bones for all eternity. This he apparently does, and hearing his whistles foreshadows your own death. The whistle goes from musical notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B in that order. Now it rises in tone to F and then lowers to B. When the whistle sound is close, there's no danger, but when the sound sounds faint and far away, you should be very afraid because actually this means that El Silbon is nearby. Apparently the only way you can survive is if you hear a dog bark within 60 seconds of the whistling. You can also keep the whistler at bay by keeping a chili on you. Sounds fair. Songs and poetry are very closely linked, with a lyricism occurring in poems that could be easily translated into music. Next up, we have a poem that causes death if you read it aloud. Because of all of this drama and assured death, Tomino's Hell is coming into number 1. Tomino's Hell is a Japanese poem that reportedly causes death and tragedy if you read it aloud, so just don't do it. The poem tells the story of a young boy's damnation and was seemingly written in 1919 by a Japanese professor living in France. It seems the poem may have originally been written for children, but it's super unsettling. The English translation is a bit patchy and is quite scary to read, and obviously I'm not about to read it aloud, and you shouldn't either because I don't want to be cursed. It does mention vomiting blood and the blackest of hells though. Good. Good. So guys, that was the top 10 cursed songs you shouldn't listen to. Have you guys ever listened to one of these songs on this list? Let me know whether you did in the comments section down below, but guys, please don't read out that poem because I don't want you to die. Okay, before I go, I just want to read some comments from part 2 of this video. This is what you had to say. Fluffy Sugarball wrote, "Where are my BTS stands at?" It actually seems like loads of you loved BTS in the comments section, so maybe I should give it a listen. K-pop, could it be my jam? Senkin said, "My favorite song is the Russian national anthem." Oi. Amazing Anastasia Trixie's Funny Skits wrote, "Do part 3. Well, Anastasia, this one is for you. So guys, I do hope you liked part 3 to this. Have you listened? Do let me know, don't forget. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. Once again, if you want to connect with me, my link to my Instagram is in the description box. Please do leave a thumbs up on this video, share it with a friend, and stay subscribed for more most amazing lists. Bye.